Yo, what's poppin' everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. We're on a absolute tear of creating some early deck list profile videos. I think this is going to be my last one for a minute because we pretty much covered all decks at this point. This one's going to be on Arceus V-STAR with Giratina V-STAR. Now in this case, this is a deck that's previously existed in other previous standard formats, but there are a few cards that make this deck so much better in this format, and I'll let you know which ones have done that in this video. So stay tuned for my deck list, strategy, card by card explanation, and more. I'd love to offer some gameplay when it comes to playing this deck, but this set's not available on PTCG Live just yet because it is an early deck profile video. That being said, you can copy and paste the list from description right into Limitless Tabletop Simulator or any other simulator that you're going to be playing, or you could print them off, cut off some proxies, be safe with those scissors, y'all, and play some in real life games with your friends as we're waiting for the set to play out or get released. That being said, I do want to jump into the deck list profile of this portion of this video. So let's get into it. Let's see how it goes, and be sure to hit that like button on your way there. This is what we got going on with the Arcetina deck list. Now, Arcetina's still going to be out there ripping energies with that Trinity Nova, getting energies on your various Pokemon in play. In this case, we're powering up Tina V-STAR. Tina V-STAR is going to be quite strong, and this deck does no longer need to worry about Path to the Peak, slowing down our Starbirth to search out whatever we want. Similar to Charizard, Bibarel, we have Bibarel in this deck, so we're able to consistently draw cards all throughout the game. We also have a copy of Skwovet, so that we're able to draw more cards with Bibarel. And of course, Radiant Gardevoir is the one that I get questioned a lot from my friends. This is in case you run into Mirror or another Tina V-STAR deck, so they aren't able to knock you out. You're taking 20 less, and maybe it's worthwhile, maybe it's not. Again, still early in the metagame. Our plan is to disrupt our opponent with Iono, Judge, and Pokemon League headquarters, so our opponent has a little bit less to struggle. We would be a Path deck, but currently there's no Path to the Peak in formats. Another disruption card that we've received in this set is Eerie, so once we've disrupted our opponent, maybe we could rip those game-winning cards out of their hand and discard them. Iron Leaf EX is probably the biggest new addition to this deck, giving us an opportunity to knock out a Charizard EX for weakness. On top of that, we have Maximum Belt, being able to knock out our opponent's Pokemon. So Charizard, for example, 280 with Tina, plus Maximum Belt allows you to knock out a Charizard for 330. Charizard is one of the rulers of our format, so let's check out this deck one by one, going through each card individually, and really learning what this deck can do. Might be a little bit more simple compared to other decks, but it is quite effective in our early metagame so far and has been seeing success in Japan. Let me know what you think about this deck in the comments. We do get back to all comments available, so love to hear your thoughts. So this is what we got going on for the cards one by one. We want to start off by using Arceus V, and Arceus V allows us to get into our energies really early. So if we go first, we can go Energy Pass and hope that they don't knock out a 220 HP Pokemon. If we go second, we can slap on a double Turbo Energy and load up energies to our other Pokemon V. One cool thing that I like about this deck, when you add in Iron Leafs, you don't always have to necessarily worry about what your opponent has going on, because you don't grab the energies, like you cannot attach them with Trinity Nova, Trinity, whatever the other attack is with Arceus V. I always get them mixed up. Trinity Charge, Trinity Nova, my bad. Iron Leafs allows you to grab your energies from any of the Pokemon and just kind of send it up active. So it kind of works kind of as a faux Pokemon V. You don't directly power it up, but you could basically attack with it at any given point that you have. Arceus V is more or less a means to an outs to evolve an Arceus V-STAR. We can search whatever cards we need, whether it's more Pokemon V, a disruption card, an energy, whatever. It makes this deck incredibly consistent, and incredibly consistent is something that we want to have in our early post-rotation metagame. Maybe we need that game-winning Maximum Belt to do an additional 50 damage to an opponent's Pokemon EX. Like, we have opportunities to be as aggressive as we want to be. But in most cases, we want to be powering up Tina V or Tina V-STAR, so we can hit our opponent for Lost Impact, 280. We have the damage modifier with Maximum Belt. We can do 330 against a Pokemon EX. We have a lot of kind of firepower here. Bibarel is really going to be a means to an end to draw cards. Otherwise, this deck falls flat as soon as you just get an Arceus V-STAR powered up. In this case, we have ways to draw cards every single turn, and pairing Bibarel with Skwovet allows us drawing those cards. I've mentioned it a few other times, but Iron Leaf's EX has the ability where you are able to kind of bust it into the active, take the energies from your bench, and attack with Prismatic Edge for 180. You can also slap on a maximum belt so you can hit for 230 against a Pokemon EX, like maybe a Chen Pao EX, and knock it straight out. Also very good against Charizard EX, Roaring Moon, because it hits for weakness. Quite a good card in this deck across the board. Giving you a lot of opportunities for additional attackers. Radiant Gardevoir is currently a potential spot in this deck. I think it might be able to get cut out, but it does reduce the damage taken from our Pokemon, from our opposing Pokemon V, meaning that we could put out a Radiant Gardevoir and maybe protect ourselves against a Lugia V-Star or an Arceus V-Star deck, or maybe our opponents just having anything. Like, there's a lot of opportunities that we could just reduce damage from a Tina V-Star. Like, there's a lot of opportunities there. Iono, Judge, and Eerie are going to be our big disruption cards. I know we went over that before, but we're just kind of trying to shuffle our opponent's deck, throw their hand into a blender, and hope that it sticks at some point. Whether that sticks because we ripped cards with Eerie, one of the new cards from Temporal Forces, out of their hands. You get to look in your opponent's hand, choose 2 item cards you find there, and discard them. Or maybe we put Pokemon Center, Pokemon League headquarters, and increase the attack cost of their basic Pokemon. At some point, if you throw enough stuff at your opponent, something's got to stick, right? At least that's the mentality of this deck. In order to protect your Pokemon, we have Professor Turo's scenario, allowing you to lift up one of your Pokemon that might have been heavily damaged, might have just barely escaped a knockout, really taking that away from your opponent as prize cards going across the board. Nest Ball, Ultra Ball are pretty standard when it comes to any of these decks, allowing us to search out our Pokemon, but we have a copy of Pokemon Catcher that's going to work with our 3 bosses orders. Not Pokemon Catcher, Counter Catcher. All these catcher names are all very similar, and they blend into your head when you've been playing Pokemon for over 20 years. We want to bring up our opponent's Pokemon when we want to bring them up. This allows us to bring up our opponent's Pokemon. Lost Vacuum is there and just more of an option to shut off a stadium, take away a Bravery Charm, a Hero Cape, whatever we want to take away. We got a copy of Switch in case we don't have the Arceus V, but we can also use Jet Energy as well to kind of bust into the active. Because sometimes you'll have a double turbo energy first on your Arceus. You could play Jet Energy, move into the active, and it's the energy and the switch that you need. Really unique card in the deck. Typical energy spread when it comes to a deck like this, we need to have a healthy mix of basic grass and psychic so we can attack with our various Pokemon. A little bit more grass since we do have that Iron Leaf CX. 4 double turbos to guarantee that we have those Trinity Novas and Trinity Charges. And I did put a V-Guard in there for good measure in case Radiant Gardevoir is not cutting it. Sometimes, I mean, it's just a double turbo and a V-Guard, or Grass Psychic and a V-Guard, giving you a lot of opportunities to see success here. Across the board, this is a super consistent, easy to play deck that is trying to attack aggressively, be consistent, and also disrupt your opponent. All great things in our post-rotation metagame. If you don't have all the cards for this deck already, be sure to check out our sponsors in the description. Whether you're looking for codes, cards, sealed, or you're looking for accessories, be sure to check it out. That being said, let me close things out here. And that's what we got going on with this video. I hope you enjoyed learning more about Giratina. Again, pretty simple deck list, and a lot of these lists are going to be pretty simple at the beginning of rotation. We lost a lot of really powerful cards from the end of a block, and we're starting at a pretty new block. You can see that Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces have really started to crank those like interesting cards coming out, and it seems like that's going to continuously happen as we get later on into the F and G block. A lot of really interesting stuff going on. So I hope that you enjoy seeing how this format progresses. Again, whether you're watching this before the set is released or after the set is released, a lot of really great information here to really see how we approach getting ready for the format. We want to make sure that all of our players are ready and available for the European International Championships, and really hoping that everyone sees success at those tournaments, on top of whatever tournaments, whether you're watching at home, getting ready for Orlando, Indy, whatever you got going on. Hope that you all have a great time. I'm going to be in Costa Rica when this video goes up, so hopefully I got a chance to share it on X. Otherwise, I'm just going to be chilling on a beach, probably sipping a Mai Tai or two, and having a great time. And I hope you had a great time watching this video. I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great one. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. Hey Hey trainers, tired of having too many cards lying around? I know that feeling, and I know what a hassle it is to try and sell those cards. But selling bulk is now easier than ever with TCG Bulk. Find tons of potential buyers in a single place. You just download the app, look for the best buyer near you, and carefully pack your bulk, ship it, and you get paid. It really is that simple. Turn the cards you don't want into the cards you absolutely need for your next deck. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.